Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Larkin, one half of the S&M Show podcast, and I'm back today with another interview. It's on the mic with Mike, and man, do I have a guest for you tonight. Very talented individual, and if you're not aware of her, you just don't know, and you're in for a cruel reality. I'm on the line with the beautiful nightmare herself, Miss Charlie Kruel. Charlie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very excited to have you on. I gotta say, I'm digging what you're doing. Like I said, I love the effort that you're putting in and just being on the grind as far as wrestling goes. We're gonna talk about Jason Saint. We're just gonna have you tell your story and have a lot of fun in this forum today.
I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So, to start it off, growing up, who were some of your favorite wrestlers, and what was the other definitive moment or matchup that you said, you know what, this is something that I want to pursue, that being a career in pro wrestling?
Wrestlers I've looked up to a lot would probably be definitely Jeff Hardy was a huge one. Just watching him like flip off ladders and doing moonsaults off ladders and all of this it was so amazing to me. So I was like, I want to do that, because Jeff Hardy's my favorite. He definitely is. I'm dying to get his pop figure. I need that pop figure so bad. I don't have it yet. I can't find it, but Jeff Hardy's my favorite. Hang on, Mom. Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry. I have to say also would have to be Dean Ambrose. He's a current one that I enjoy, and I'm sad that he's not active right now because of his injury, but he'll be back soon, and he's awesome to watch. Another one that I'll have to say, my favorite women wrestler of all time, besides Lita and Trish Stratus and Chyna and all of them, would have to be AJ Lee. She was one of the main reasons that I was like, I want to do this one day, because her character and everything just about her was just amazing to watch, and it was just watching her do her stuff. I was like, this is what I want to do one day. So AJ Lee and Jeff Hardy are two of the main reasons why I want to get into it. I can't really explain what match. I wanted to be a wrestler since I was 11 years old, but I don't think it was till when I introduced myself to AJ and stuff, that was when I was like, I really want to do this, because her character and everything about her was just amazing to me, and it still is. And then she had a title match in 2013 versus Caitlyn at Payback, and she won, and just seeing the emotion that she has in her eyes and all of this just made me be like, this is really what I want to do one day. And I would tell people, I'd be like, this is what I want to do one day. I want to be a wrestler. I want to be a champion one day. And they'd be like, really? And I'd be like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So that's the story of that. Those are three I ground covered: Jeff Hardy, Dean Ambrose, AJ Lee. I like Daniel Bryan. I like a lot of them, actually. I can't really have a certain one, but yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm right there with you. And Jeff Hardy has always been a favorite of mine as well. Funny story that I'll tell my listeners, and I'll tell you as well. When I was 10, and there was that one year when he spray painted his hair all green, because Jeff Hardy's known for the spray paint, the makeup, the whole nine. I actually spray painted my hair green like Jeff Hardy that one year, and I was Jeff Hardy for Halloween one year, because I was such a big Jeff Hardy fan. Well, still am today. And you talk about guys, and girls, I'll start with the AJ Lee first and foremost. My God, a tremendous competitor. And I remember that matchup that you're referring to, the match with Caitlyn at Payback, was a great match. Those two women, real life best friends, and just great dynamic that they had in the ring. And AJ Lee was one of the ones that had, she tattooed how many days she was the Divas champion on her skin. So that was actually pretty cool to see too, because she really took being Divas champion to heart, and it really showed in her work.
Yeah, a funny story about that is that I was reading AJ's book, Crazy is My Superpower, which is actually being used right now by Jason. He borrowed it. But I love, I read all of the book, and one part she said about the match with Caitlyn was that they were going to cut it, WWE wanted to cut it short. The ref was like, okay, girls, they want it short, go home or whatever. And AJ and Caitlyn just looked at each other and was like, you just want to keep going and just, who cares? And Caitlyn was like, yeah. So they took it way longer than they were supposed to, but WWE didn't care because they rocked the house that night. So
That's what's great.
stop.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's great about women's wrestling because I see young and up and comers like yourself, Charlie. You're doing your thing. And it's just great to see what women are doing as far as the pro wrestling games. You look at, WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, the whole nine, what we have in Japan with Stardom. It's great to see such young athletes like yourself just being accentuated and just showing your abilities. And like you mentioned, they're rocking the house.
Definitely. They have a new DVD out about women's evolution. I really want it. So that's something I definitely want on my bucket list is that DVD because that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also you got to be excited. August 8th and August 9th, we have the Mae Young Classic coming to fruition again. Mae Young Classic 2 on the WWE Network.
I'm excited to watch that as well.
That's what I'm just saying. It's just we came from a time with obviously you have the legends like Trish, Lita, Jacqueline, Jazz, Molly Holly, Ivory, Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, Medusa, Alundra Blaze, Bull Nakano. The list goes on and on. It's just great to see, like, when it was focused on, like, the bikini challenges, the bikini contests, the pillow fights, the bra and panties matches. Yes, we get it. Women are beautiful, but give them time, accentuate their strengths in the ring. And, again, it's just a beautiful thing. It's just a great concept.
Definitely. Women's wrestling is a beautiful thing. I say that all the time. Women's wrestling is an art. It's a beautiful thing. Wrestling itself is an art. Like, I don't really like people calling it a sport because to me, it's more of, like, just an art.
Mm-hmm.
Something people just attach themselves to.
Well, yeah, like you apply your craft, like the art that it is. You're applying your craft to your art form that is professional wrestling.
Right.
Now, all right, you got to tell me about this first before we even get into wrestling. You mentioned pop figures. What's up with the pop figure collection? Because I know you're very into the pop figure collection. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh gosh, I have my first ever pop figure. I don't think I mentioned this, but like I have an AJ Lee pop figure, and that was my first one. And then I started realizing they have way more. So I was like, I want to collect these. So I started short. I just got like AJ Lee, then I got like Daniel Bryan, and I got Simba from The Lion King and Scar and all of that. It started growing from there. I have about, I would count them, but it's like there's so many. There's like maybe 50, maybe under that a little bit. I'm not sure, but I love my pop figures. They're like children to me. Every time I go into a store like Hot Topic or GameStop, like that's what I want to look at is just pop figures and see what else I can add to my collection. I have about 4 Harley Quinn pop figures. I have a Joker from Suicide Squad. I have the female Joker, which is a Hot Topic exclusive. And then like my wrestling figures, pop figures I have is like I have $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, The Undertaker, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Razor Ramon, AJ, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Stone Cold, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Goldberg, and The Ultimate Warrior. So I definitely want more of the. Like I said, I want the Hardy Boys pop figures too because those look rad. I would love to have those.
I concur with you on that. They are very nice. And another thing I got to mention is you're really big into anime. Where did the love for anime come from?
Actually, my first anime I ever watched, and I still watch to this day, is Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
Naruto and then Naruto Shippuden. Right from, like, obviously, like, Pokemon's an obvious one. Like, if you ask someone, like, what's your favorite anime, because they say they love anime, and they say Pokemon, they don't say anything else, and, like, you're just like, oh, okay. Pokemon's obviously, like, an obvious one. Like, I love Pokemon Go, but other than that, like, I love Naruto. And I just got onto another one that actually Brian Pillman Jr. like told me about it. And he's like, I need to watch it. So I was like, okay, this does be good. So it's a My Hero Academia, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. I think that's pronounced. I love Soul Eater, Fairy Tail, and Vampire Knight. So those are my favorite animes that I've been watching so far. And I want to get into more. I really want to get into Sailor Moon. I haven't got into that yet. And everyone like talks about it. And there's like Sasha Banks, she talks about it all the time, so I really want to get into that as well.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of very good ones like the one you just mentioned there. And another thing, you're big into the whole Harley Quinn DC thing. Talk about Harley Quinn, DC, just that love as well, because another one that's actually very great and very popular as well.
Like I said, like I have 4 Harley Quinn pop figures.
Okay.
And like I love DC, like I have Batman, and I mean a lot of people like are Marvel over DC, but like I like both. But if I had to pick, I'd be DC because I love DC, mm-hmm. DC comics and all that. Like my colors that I wear in the ring is red and black, and I mean like a lot of people like wear red and black, but I usually do it because that's Harley Quinn's colors, so I do it for her. So yeah, like my favorite from DC is Harley Quinn and Joker and all of that, and that's what like a lot of people love is like Harley Quinn and Joker and stuff. But like I loved like when Suicide Squad came out, people started being all about the whole Joker Harley Quinn thing. But like I loved Harley Quinn before they even thought of Suicide Squad. So I think of me a little bit more of a fan than like people that like, oh, Suicide Squad, you know, Harley Quinn, yay, and that's like the only like she has so many different looks about her that it's not just Suicide Squad, it's not just uh, Margaret Robbie, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's yes, like it's not just that Suicide Squad. Like there's so many different looks about Harley Quinn that like is just more there, you know, and it's just not Suicide Squad. So I've been a huge Harley Quinn fan for as long as I can remember. I think AJ Lee was one of the people that like got me onto Harley Quinn because like she would talk about it and she would like dress as her sometimes and I'd be like, I want to like learn a little bit more about that. So I did, and after that I was like, I love this. And then they came out with Suicide Squad and I was like, that's awesome. And a lot of people like don't really care for Suicide Squad because they have different opinions, but I thought it was a good movie.
Now let's get into, like I said, as far as your wrestling goes, I love what you're doing. But before we even get into training and all that, I have to ask you. I love asking this question as well. Talk about the origin of the beautiful Nightmare character in itself, because I've seen what you're doing. You know, the crew realities, the promos, and just I think you come off very well. And like I said, you definitely have a bright future. You have a great drive as far as professional wrestling goes, and I really look forward to seeing where you go in the future and where you progress. But I gotta say, I love the whole beautiful Nightmare character. Talk about how that came into fruition.
Um, like I'm gonna mention him, Jason Saint. He kind of created the character. Like he created the name of her, and so then at first I didn't know how I felt about the name, and then after a while I was like, okay, I like this name. And so how I kind of like came with the character is that like I don't remember like literally how I came up with a Beautiful Nightmare. I feel like I saw a clothing line called Beautiful Nightmare, and I was like that would fit. So I looked at it and I was like, okay, Beautiful Nightmare Charlie Crow, I like it. So I started like telling like ring announcers and stuff to announce me as that and all this. And the character herself, she's just someone that like is just misunderstood. She's someone that like people would just want to take advantage of because she's so small, and she's not like that at all. Like she's someone you don't want to take advantage of. She's like Kruel is literally what she's trying to be. She wants to be cruel. She doesn't like she's cruel to this world because the world was cruel to her. And with the character herself is just she's someone that's just been broken so many times that like she takes her anger out on her opponents and who's ever in her way. So that's pretty much the bottom line of what she is. Just a beautiful nightmare, and there's still more to this character I want to develop. So, I mean, I'm not even 1 year yet into the business, so there's a lot more to this character I want to develop, definitely.
I got to tell you right now, you mentioned him, we'll get into it. Jason Saint, last member of Horror Show. You're doing your thing now at Saints Row. Talk about being a part of Horror Show and just Saints Row, because what you guys have been doing, I dig it. I think Jason has a great mind for the business, and I find him to be very entertaining and a cool individual. So talk about being the last member of Horror Show and talk about Saints Row.
The last minute, the last member of Horror Show, I joined Horror Show in 2017, so literally like not that far from when it like ended.
Mm-hmm.
But Jason, I met Jason at PopCon, Indie PopCon. It was for a show they're doing. It was Strong Style Wrestling, and he was managing Congo Kong that night. So I met him there, and then after a while, like we started talking about wrestling over Facebook, and just he would ask me like, what is it that you like and all this, and besides wrestling related. And one time I sent him a picture of me in a cane mask, and he's like, you are freaking awesome. So ever since then, like, we've been really good friends, and he's helped me so much through my career already that I can't thank him enough, really. He's created Charlie Kruel. He brought her to the world. You probably wouldn't know who I am, honestly, if it wasn't for him, because he did a huge part of Charlie Kruel, and being the last member is just such an honor to me. Like, I was standing in that ring with Adam Bueller and with Congo Kong and all these big names like Maria and Shane Mercer and all these names like Zodiac and Haley Shadows and stuff. And I was just standing there and I was just like, wow, this is my family. This is like family to me. Horror Show is not just a stable, it's a family. And I was like in the ring with them, and we were telling our stories to Adam, because Adam, he's diagnosed with cancer, and we did a benefit show for him that night. And I'm just very honored to be the last member of Horror Show, because it's like every name in Horror Show has been somewhere almost, pretty much. Every name in Horror Show, I would say, has been somewhere. Shane Mercer, I'll get to him more because their story was with him. But Shane Mercer, he got WWE auditions. He's been on NXT. Jason, he's been backstage at WWE events because, he got auditions as well. And he's a big name, and I want nothing but the best for him. Maria, she was actually just recently on Raw as part of the No Way Jose thing there. So, like, huh?
I was going to say, yeah, the No Way Jose conga line, yep.
Yep, she was part of that, and she was on Raw. She was going to face Asuka, and then Nia Jax came in and, like, attacked Asuka. But she was part of that as well, and just being part of that group is just, like, it's amazing. Because they all, like, I look up to them in different ways. And Jason, he brought me into that, and I keep saying, I can't thank him enough. He's an amazing guy. He is super talented. He knows what he's doing. He knows his way around the business, and I'm glad to have him on my side.
And I got to say this as well. You talk about Maria. I've seen what you have done with Maria James, because Maria James, again, another great and talented individual. That's someone else you get a chance to learn from and get to work with in the ring. Talk about that experience.
My first singles match was actually against Maria.
Mm-hmm.
It was the time I was really introduced to Horror Show, because Jason was managing Maria, and it was Grindhouse, and it was me versus her at Rumble was the show. It was called that. And having her as my first singles opponent was just an honor to me, because I've looked up to Maria for a while, and I still do. So any chance I would get it, like, to have another match with her, that'd be awesome. And when, she did beat me, and at the end, they presented a rose to me. Well, they ended up not giving me the rose, but then Aleida Ortiz came out and attacked me, and they ended up giving me the rose. And the fans loved that. They loved every bit of that. So that was me, like, welcoming myself to the family, and me being the last member of Horror Show. Just being the last member of Horror Show, it just sends goosebumps all around me. Like, it's a stable that is pretty much in history, because it was a great stable with a bunch of big names and a lot of talent. And just working with Maria herself, she's a great role model for me. She leads me very well, and I can't thank her enough.
Another opponent I got to mention, Ronnie Big Bang Nicole. Had her on the show last week. Spoke very highly of you. Talk about working with the great Ronnie Big Bang Nicole.
I worked with her about 3 times. She's definitely another mentor to me. She took me to Kansas City with her, and she didn't even have to. She could have been like, I don't want to take her. I can easily just pick someone else. But she definitely chose me, and I was like, that's so cool of you. So I got to experience a show in Kansas City working with her and stuff, and she's, she looks out for me all the time. She's always telling people that I'm her girl, and she's just a really great role model, and I love to learn from her, just like I love to learn from Maria. She's just someone I love to be around. I love to have a match with, and every single time I have a match with her, I feel more empowered. I feel like I'm getting better every single time I have a match with her. So, and I love that, like, she mentioned me on your podcast last time.
Mm-hmm. That
was amazing. I didn't expect that. So thank you for mentioning me on that. That's awesome.
I have to, man. I mean, like I said, talking to you, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show today. You are what's going to be representing the future going forward. And I really, truly want you to succeed, because just talking to you, I can tell you love wrestling, you respect the business, and that's going to go a long way for you in the future.
Thank you. And I respect nothing but this business, and everyone that, like, enters the ring just goes through those ropes. Like, I respect completely, because they're all doing what we do. They're putting their body on the line. They're putting their life on the line. People can die at this sport, and nobody knows how fragile this sport really is. and how amazing it is, how much of an art it is alone.
And I agree with you on that. That's why, yeah, I know I'm not a wrestler, and I do get heat about this because I interview such great guys and gals like yourself, and it's so funny too because one of the best in the business, Dr. D. David Schultz. He's most memorably known for that clip where he slapped John Stossel on 2020 for calling the business fake, and he just came out with a book called Don't Call Me Fake, where he talks about his career and that particular incident. Now, if you actually rewatch that incident back, man, you know what the problem is? John Stossel could have worded it better, but it's just like these guys and gals, they put their bodies on the line, they're hurting, and it's just like you show disrespect like that, and respect is a key component for myself and just any other facet of life. So it's just like, come on, you know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's exactly right. Like, I don't think this wrestling's not fake. I would be in school. Because, I just graduated last year, and I would be in school, and people would be like, why do you watch that fake stuff? And people just always called me fake for it and all this, and it's not fake. Like, it's very, like, it's scripted and stuff, and people know what's going to happen, but, like, the bumps we take, they do hurt. It's just, like, it's not soft or anything. Like, I mean, I've been kicked in the face where, like, I would get my jaw swollen. I had my jaw swollen on both sides because I'd been, like, forearmed in the face. I've been kicked in the face. And it's not fake. It's not fake at all. People need to, like, get that out of their mind. If you don't watch wrestling and you don't really care for it, that's fine. But don't call it fake. Like, have some respect.
Agreed. Absolutely and agree. And you know what it is, too? I always say, I'd love to see these people get in the ring and tell me that it's fake. Just experience the life what you guys go through each and every day. So, like I said, it's an unfortunate circumstance, but that's unfortunately the world that we live in as far as people looking down upon pro wrestling. And like you mentioned, it's okay if you don't like it, but man, just respect is key in everything.
Right. It's a huge respect matter. There's so much respect that has to go on in this business. There are people that will say, like, I want to be a wrestler, and, like, they don't really care for it, and they try, and then they realize it's physical and it actually hurts, and then they get out of it. I don't like those people. I think those people are, like, a waste of time. Because if you're going to come into it and thinking, like, it doesn't hurt, it's okay, and then you find out it hurts, and then you want to get out of it, then you're a wimp. Like, I knew right from the start when I got into it, I knew, like, okay, well, this is going to hurt, but this is going to be awesome. I've had so many stories, and I knew, like, right when I would watch wrestling, I always knew, like, oh, that must hurt. Ugh. And I would always, like, cringe at some stuff that happens because I'm like, oh, that must hurt like hell. So, yeah, it's definitely not fake. And people that call it fake are probably fake themselves. I mean, they watch fake stuff all the time on TV. Wrestling is not fake. Now, they will watch reality TV and call it, like, real. But reality TV can be fake, too. It's not all real.
And that's the point that I always cross, because I'll give an example, prime example. Friends was a very popular show in the 90s, and it's a very iconic show. That show, everybody loved it, but it's fake. You know what I'm saying? and same with Seinfeld. That's another iconic show, but those shows are scripted fake. You don't say nothing about that. Like I said, it's just the world we live in. So
right, and it's a sad world we live in.
It is a sad world that we live in, but let's talk about some positive stuff here, because Grindhouse, you train there each and every Sunday. Talk about training at Grindhouse. You guys put on great events. Talk about the overall experience with Grindhouse.
I train there about 2 times a week. Every Sunday we do put on shows at Grindhouse at the Jeffersonville Arena. The doors open at 2, bell time is 3. Mm-hmm. And, my trainers are Too Tough Tony, Rudo Raul Lamada, and Rudy Switchblade, and I mean, they train us well. They train us how to protect ourselves. They don't just train us how to, like, do moves, cool moves, and like, put on a match. They train us how, like, to protect ourselves as well. They always, like, get onto us, like, check your chin, make sure you do this, don't do that. So they care a lot, and there's no, like, definitely the best, like, if you want to wrestle, and, like, I live 2 hours away from Jeffersonville, so I travel 2 hours away around 4 hours every single week, twice a week. If you want to wrestle, that's definitely the place to go and train. They're great. They care. They will get you somewhere, and as soon as you're ready, they'll put you on their shows every Sunday. they'll give you matches. They'll give you people to work with. Like they gave me Maria to work with. They gave me Ronnie to work with. You know, they care, and Grindhouse is family to me, and I'm very thankful. Jason was actually the one that introduced me to Grindhouse. He was like, "You need to go here. It's a great place for you to learn." And I went there, and so I'm very thankful for Grindhouse and what they have done for me.
I'm going to take a step back from the Grindhouse. We're going to move on to another promotion because there's, like I said, there's a lot of ground to cover. You're doing amazing things. Girl Fight Wrestling. You got a chance to be a part of Girl Fight Wrestling. You're doing your thing in Girl Fight Wrestling as well, which is another great company. Talk about that experience.
I have a Girl Fight show tomorrow, actually. It's a midnight Girl Fight show, so the doors open at 11 or 11:30, and then the bell time is, of course, midnight. And well, so far for Girl Fights, I've had my match against Alade Ortiz. I've had a match against Randy West. I had a match against Melanie Cruz, I'm sorry. And like my recent one was with Melanie Cruz, and that was like my first time I think I've actually ever met her. I think I saw a glimpse of her once, and that was like when I did a Rise seminar for Mercedes Martinez, Chris Wolf, Medusa, and Gail Kim. They all did something there. And I think that was like the first time I ever actually like met her, but I didn't really meet her. I just shook her hand. I had to leave. We were in Chicago and we had to get home. And so that was my first time ever actually meeting and talking to her. And I just looked up and I was like, dang, like they want me to wrestle you? Because like she's so much bigger than me. And I was like, this is going to be great. But she was awesome to work with because she really led me through everything. And she was just easy to work with to me. And then we had like another tag team match that same night with me, Maria, and Randy versus Nina Monette, Melanie Cruz, and Jocelyn Navarro. So I got to work with her twice that night, and it was awesome every single time. She's an awesome person to work with. I would love to work with her again.
Gotta say this as well. I checked out the new Saints Row. You and Jason doing your thing in the ring. All of a sudden, here comes Big Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, Chico. And you got a great exchange going. Rebel's in the ring as well. Jason tells Scott that DX was better than the NWO. Toothpick in the face, spear by Rebel. You coming in there, get the DDT from Rebel. Talk about that experience.
Oh, gosh. When I found out I was doing Saints Row with Scott Hall, I didn't know how I felt at first. I was like, oh, my gosh, Scott Hall. Like, you know, just like had butterflies in my stomach. It was so awesome. And then I got there and I was like, okay, game face, you know, this is happening. Rebel got into it and she did give me a really good ADT. I thought it was awesome. She gave a good spear to Jason. Saints Row itself is actually something that's like growing every single time. And it's going to grow even more. And Scott Hall, I think, was just awesome to work with, you know, alone. And just being in the ring, like, across from him, I was like, you know, this is actually happening. But what's going to happen is that, you know, I think me and Rebel will have a good feud. We'll have good matches. And Scott Hall himself, just Razor Ramon, it was like, this is actually happening. This is so cool. And then, like, I got in there and I was like, okay, I can't fangirl. Gotta be professional. Gotta be a wrestler. So. And then I saw him again at Days of the Dead, and I mentioned to him, I said, I'm the girl that got DDT'd by Rebel. And he was like, oh, yeah, I remember you. What's up? So he's awesome to work with. And just, if you haven't seen that video yet, you need to. It's out of this world awesome. So I'm glad you watched it. I thought it was really good.
I really did. I'm watching this. I'm like, man, this is a great dynamic. Jason's doing his thing. You're doing your thing. Mean mugging. Just, you know, doing your heel thing. And I'm watching Rebel. The dynamic you guys had there. I thought it came off very well. It was greatly executed.
I thought it was too.
Really, that's all I could say. It was really good. And I'll tell you right now, people who are listening, when this audio is over, I'm going to put the link to that Saints Row in the description below this audio so everybody can check it out.
Please do. That'd be awesome of you.
I will definitely do that. But I got to say, you talked about girls like Randy West. We talked about Alida Ortiz. We talked about a lot of great talents. One talent I have to ask you, because I've seen her work on the independents as well. I believe she just did Queens of Combat not too long ago, because I was checking out some stuff on the YouTube and just checking out the great world that is professional wrestling. Talk about working with Alley Cat.
I worked with Alley Cat at WCW Wrestling. I can't remember when. It was like a few months ago. I went there and I didn't know who I was going to wrestle, and I found out I was wrestling Alley Cat, and I got really excited. I love Alley Cat. She's awesome to work with, another person I love to learn from. She's been in the business a little bit, like, longer than I have, so she definitely knows more. And just working with her alone, like, I thought the match was okay, you know. I learned a lot from her, so that's like my main goal right now, just learning and getting my roots in. Just so, like, I would love to work with women that I can learn from in the ring. You know, just people that are experienced, and Alley Cat is one that is experienced, and I know that she's going to go far in this business alone. Like, and I want her to. She's a great talent. She's a good person to be around. She's awesome to work with, you know. So it was awesome working with her, and there's a highlight of the match itself on my YouTube channel, which is Charlie Kruel Wrestling, if you want to go check that out. But yeah, she's awesome to work with, good person. Yeah.
Okay. One thing I got to say as well, another thing I did see, man, we got to talk about Rachel Bostic. We got to talk about Ray Lynn. You guys are tearing it down. Talk about going for the Emerge Pro Wrestling Women's Championship. The promo came out. Great promo at that. Great delivery. I got to tell you, I'm really looking forward to seeing where you go as far as Emerge goes as well.
Now, I like having a story with Rachel because that was my first time ever working with her. The first time I ever met her, I think, was at Heroes and Legends. I wasn't doing anything. I was there to help out and do all of my rookie stuff, like help out, you know, set up and doing all this. And if anybody needs anything, I'll get it for them. And that was my first time ever really meeting her. My first time ever, like, talking to her was at Emerge. So we got to have that match. And I think we killed it. You know, there's, like, one of the easiest matches and one of my favorite matches I've had so far was definitely with her. And, you know, then I went over and they wanted me to do a promo about, like, going after the Emerge Women's title. And, like, awesome. So we did that. And obviously, like, I didn't expect the promo to be out this early. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is awesome. So I'm going to share this everywhere and, like, hope people can see it. So I want to go after the Emerge Women's Championship. And like I said about Rachel, she's also somebody I love to learn from. I respect completely. Just working with her alone was just so easy to me. So definitely, like, if you haven't had her on her show yet, like, you should. I feel like she would have a lot of good stories. She's been wrestling for a while now. She's a vet. So we did this whole thing, like, vet versus rookie. So it was really awesome working with her.
I guess that's a great dynamic right there. I've seen Rachel do her thing. I've seen her husband Dylan. I remember when I first saw Dylan's he did a tryout for Tough Enough. He did put that video out there. I just seen Dylan's work too. I think both are incredible people, and they are definitely people who are great to learn from.
If you, like, ever have both of them on your podcast, that'd be awesome, because I love Dylan, I love Rachel. They're both good people.
I will reach out. I will reach out. Thank you. But I gotta say this as well. Talk about Shane Mercer, because you say you want to get more into him. I've seen Shane's work. Shane's an incredible. Shane's an incredible athlete. Like you mentioned, stuff with NXT. Just overall, dude's got a great presence about him. Talk about Shane.
He's another guy that, like, mentors me a little bit. Like, we'll be on, like, road trips, and he's so funny. Him and Jason alone together is just, like, a blast to be around. So I love doing road trips with them. And, like, a recent road trip we did, like, we were heading to Battle on the Border, and we did, like, a double shot that day. We did Road Rover Wrestling with Scott Hall and all that. Then we were going to Battle on the Border, where I faced Jocelyn, and he faced the Scarecrow and stuff. And we were heading that way, and he, like, didn't even warn us. He, like, pulled us over, and I locked my door because, there was a hill right next to us. I don't want him, like, taking me out and, like, push me down a hill or something. So Jason told me to lock my door, and I was like, okay. So I quickly locked the door, and he just got out, and he went over to a tree and just stood there looking in the, like, out in the distance, and just, like, stopped. And me and Jason were like, well, I guess he's just enjoying nature. Like, that's normal. So we got back in the car, and then we just left. That was it. He's a funny guy. He's very talented. You know, he doesn't call himself Iron Demon for nothing. He's been in the business for about 11 years. He knows his stuff, and I love being around both of them. They're like family to me, and he, like, always gets on to me. You need to do this. You need to do that. And he does it in the best way possible. We do this thing. Have you ever seen the promo with it was with the Gymnasty Boys? and me and Shane were in the background playing rock paper scissors.
Yes, that's
And
right.
then,
That's right.
and then he ended up, huh?
I said, yeah, that's right. I'm laughing because I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was, and then he ended up powerbombing me. Well, we do this thing that almost every place we go to, he at least has to powerbomb me on the chairs at least once. And usually we try to do it in front of like someone like big names that will have a good reaction. Like we did at Battle of the Border, we did one where he powerbombed me. He did like a knock knock joke with Brian Pillman Jr. and then he's like banana or whatever, and Brian Pillman Jr. would be like banana who, and Shane would be like just powerbomb me and be like, aren't you glad I didn't say orange? And people would be like, what the heck is wrong with this guy? Like, why do they do this? Like that's all the time. Like I don't care to get powerbombed on chairs, tables, a car hood. It's like it toughens me up, but it's also like fun in a way. So like every time he's like, okay, we're gonna put chairs together. This guy's gonna do this. Let's see what the reaction is, and it's always a good time. Weirdly, but it's always a good time. So we also did that in front of Buff Bagwell as well.
Buff the stuff, yes. Yes. Oh, now I got to say this as well. I want to talk about one other female competitor. Then we'll shoot the breeze on wrestling here because there's a lot of ground to cover. I want to touch upon that. Get your thoughts on some things. Talk about Shauna Reed. You and Shauna had a great match as well. Talk about working with Shauna.
Actually, we have not had a match yet.
Well,
We have not had a match yet together.
okay.
We have had kind of things where like I attacked her and she would attack me, and we've done stuff like that. We're trying to build it up to that moment of us having a match, which will be, I believe, September at Battle on the Border. I believe it is going to be me and Shauna. And like Shauna's a great person. Like I'm excited to actually work with her finally, because so far we've only done stuff where like we would attack each other, and it's just we're trying to build that up to us actually having a match, a one-on-one match. So no, we haven't had a match yet,
Okay.
but I definitely will have a match sometime soon. And yeah, but she's awesome to work with. We haven't like obviously had a match yet, but I know she'll be awesome to work with. She's with Cody Hawk. Cody Hawk also trains her, and I did a seminar with him that same day at World's Finest Wrestling. So he's awesome to learn from as well.
I gotta say this as well. Okay, so there hasn't been a match yet, but I gotta say I did see those videos with the dynamic between you and Shauna. I myself am looking forward to, because I think you girls will rock the house, and I personally can't. I'm looking forward to that matchup myself.
I'm looking forward to it too. I do hope we rock the house, because I feel like we really will. I mean, I feel like me and Shauna has that like dynamic together that we can actually do that. So I'm excited for that match.
I got to shoot the breeze on just a topic here with pro wrestling. We talked about, the women's wrestling, how the evolution, the revolution, etc. Man, I got to talk about intergender wrestling with you, because it was great to see. Now, James Ellsworth, a lot of people say what they want about James Ellsworth. We did the homage to Andy Kaufman, the intergender championship of the world. Now he's back in the WWE. I got to say, what are your thoughts overall on just intergender wrestling? I know you've gotten in the ring with gentlemen, and I just got to say, I love the dynamic that guys and girls do. I think Lucha Underground pulls it off very well if you see a lot of the Lucha Underground stuff, but I gotta say intergender wrestling is another one that's just been taken off nowadays.
Yeah, I think there should be more intergender matches. I have like an intergender match every Sunday, because I am the only active woman wrestler in Grindhouse, and the rest are guys, so I have to work with guys. And we have this thing right now that we're doing with me and Dude Beddington, who's like a ring announcer there. But like I kicked his butt once, and now he's trying to find all these different guys to try to beat me, and I keep finding a way to beat them every single time. So yeah, I'm always having an intergender match, and I think there should be more of that, honestly. There are some places that don't allow it, like WWE I don't think really allows intergender at all.
Mm-mm.
I think shows on like TV don't really do intergender, but there are places that do, and I think there should be more of it. I know there was a show, like an all-show one, so like just nothing but intergender matches. And I feel like women can face men, and women can beat men too. So, yeah, my thoughts on intergender matches, though, alone, it's something like I said, it just needs to be more of. I think it's fun. Like, I wrestle guys all the time in training, on the shows every Sunday. Yeah, maybe there should be more of that.
We definitely do need to see more of that. Like I said, there's a great dynamic between them, and I know people have their thoughts on it. But I gotta say, yes, you girls can kick our butts. I gotta say, sometimes, and generally more now, you see a lot of the girls outshining us dudes on these wrestling shows.
Like if it was like Melanie Cruz or Ronnie, even they can beat up a guy, and like I said, I wrestle guys all the time. Um, so yeah, like I feel like it should be something more. I feel like the whole you shouldn't wrestle this person because you're a girl and it's not fair. Like I don't think that I think that saying that alone is not fair to me.
And I think the thing is too. Also, one thing I gotta say about you is also with grounds as far as what we have in wrestling now. We have the great international talents we see in the UK, Japan. I know that's got to be a dream for you to wrestle in places like the UK, Japan, Mexico going forward, and with your what we see in your career and what progresses in it.
One, like obviously I love anime, so obviously I love Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But go like I would love to wrestle there one day, yes. One day, anytime soon, no. Like I'm still really new and I'm still trying to get my footing in. And going somewhere far away like Japan or the UK or something, like I want to happen one day, but like anytime soon, I feel like is not like in the books for me right now because obviously I'm not even a year in and I'm still trying to get my footing. I'm still trying to learn. I'm taking baby steps, and these baby steps are going to get into bigger steps, and these bigger steps are going to get into bigger steps. And right now, I do want to go to Japan one day, though. Yes, that would be incredible, and just to experience Japan, the country of Japan alone, would be awesome for me because they have like nothing but anime stores, and I feel like I would spend nothing but like money there, like so much money just on that. Like how like we just have regular stores,
Mm-hmm.
may like a sports store has like nothing but sports stuff in it, and Hot Topic has nothing but like they have anime stuff in it, but they have a lot of mixture other stuff. Like they have stores in Japan that's nothing but anime. So, and that alone, like that would be awesome, honestly. But to wrestle there, yes, I would love to do that one day. That's on my bucket list for the future. Same with UK or any other country. I want to go everywhere. My thing, like I just post on my Twitter. I want to travel the world. That's what I want to do. I do want to travel the world, like go everywhere in America, everywhere in the world. Go places and wrestle and just get my footing in, and it would be awesome to one day go to Japan and one day go to UK and one day go here, maybe this state or this state, and But right now I've wrestled like a little bit in Ohio, wrestled here in Indiana, and I'm just trying to get out there more. And Jason is one that helps me a lot. He goes places. Actually, he goes to New Jersey here soon. So good luck. Him and Shane Mercer both. So good luck to both of them. They're gonna rock the house. And yeah, actually, Shane took me to New Jersey not too long ago with him. And I wasn't there to do anything. I was there to watch the merchandise and like help out. And I did a Me Yim seminar that night. So it was awesome. Just having them like take me places, and it's just having them on my side. It's like something I can't really explain. I'm just so thankful for it because in this business, it's such a dog eat dog business that like people will take advantage of you in a heartbeat. Like any promoter or any wrestler or anybody like this, in the heartbeat, and they don't let that happen. They're really good. They're good eggs. I would say they're good eggs.
I'm going to tell you right now, Charlie Kruel, as we're coming towards the end of this, I got a couple final questions. Anytime you want to come back on this show, you are more than welcome.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Personally, I was thrilled to do this because I know you're relatively new in the business, and I got to say with the utmost sincerity and respect to you again, I really want to see you succeed. I know a lot of my listeners want to see you succeed. You're one who's very determined, very driven, very passionate about wrestling, and that's good because, like I said, wrestling, people want to pussyfoot and say that it's like easy, but it's not. And just by watching you girls and guys do it, man, I got to say I really want success for you.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate anybody listening that has, just wants to see me succeed and wants to see me go places. I really appreciate that. I want nothing more but to succeed in this business. It's a business that I want. it's a business I want to like live my entire life with. So
That's what I said. I'm happy that I gave you the forum today. I'm enjoying your story. I mean, we covered with the DC, the Harley Quinn, the comics. We just covered a lot of ground. Like I said, I'm glad to have you. But one thing I didn't mention, I got to ask, man. I'm looking at your social media. I saw that photo with Medusa, and we mentioned Medusa before in the seminar. What a mind, Alondra Blaze, working with the likes of Bull Nakano, doing her thing in Japan, WCW. Man, talk about just meeting Alondra Blaze and just picking her mind and just learning from the great Medusa herself.
goodness, the first time I met her I was at the Rise seminar, and Bull Nakano was supposed to do that seminar, but she ended up having to cancel it because I don't exactly know what happened, but she wasn't able to go there to be part of that. So Medusa and Gail Kim both like stepped in and took her place. So it was awesome, like just learning from them alone. It sucks because I wanted to learn from Bull Nakano as well, but learning from Medusa and Gail Kim is better than nothing as well. Like just I didn't even like know that I was meeting Medusa that day. Like she walked in, I was like, that's Medusa. So I met her and I ended up seeing her again at Heroes and Legends show. And I went over to her and right away she like recognized me. She's like, "Hi, how are you? How you been doing?" I was like, "You remember me?" Like that's so weird. So I introduced her to Jason and we took a picture and I picked her mind and she gave me so much good advice that I hold to my heart. Like just like she really genuinely cares about how my career is going to be, and she genuinely cares about like me succeeding and me being good and me not like being stupid in this business like a lot of people I'm sure have been. And I met her again at Days of the Dead. So there we talked a little bit. She recognized me. She's like, "How are you? I'm so glad I didn't know you'd be here," and all this. And just her, like a legend like her recognizing me when there's probably a lot of people that probably look like me. Like she recognizes me and she is happy every time she gets to see me, and that like her alone, it bums. Like it's something like that. Like I can't really explain. She's just an amazing person. She really cares. Like I love knowing that she does. Like that's awesome.
And I gotta tell you right now, we talk about, you mentioned the Rise seminar, looking at companies like that, looking at companies like Shimmer, looking at companies like Shine. Talk about Grindhouse, man. The future is bright for wrestling companies, and I gotta say, the indies and just where to cut your teeth, just know where to go. There's a lot of future in these companies, and I really look forward to seeing talents being produced, such as yourself, just going forward. And I gotta say, the future is bright, all in all, for professional wrestling.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, I have to say this to you as well, Miss Charlie Kruel. So, as someone who's relatively new in the business, doing her thing, talk about any advice that you would give to guys and gals that want to pursue a career in professional wrestling. What would be the advice that you would give to them?
My advice is take the brain off of veterans because they will know so much more and they will like give you better advice. But for me, if I had to give someone advice, since I'm just like not even a year in, I had to give someone advice if someone's listening to this and they want to be a wrestler one day, they want to go train and stuff and pursue that dream. Just never give up. I'm trying to be John Cena right now. Just never give up. Like literally, I mean, everything's gonna be hard. Like there's been times in this business that I would be like, I really like, I don't know if this is for me. I want to quit. Like I don't know, but I never did because there's always that thought. It's like, just don't quit. Don't give up. This is your dream. You wanted this since you were a kid. If you wanted this since you were little and you want to go after it and you get in it and you thought like this is hard. Like life's gonna be hard, but just keep going because after every storm is a rainbow, and you will get to that rainbow because just like I've always wanted to be an inspiration, so that's something I want to be one day. But like I would say, definitely pick the brains off of veterans, like I do. I pick the brains off of Medusa or anyone that has a big name. Just never give up. That's what I need to say. Yeah.
I think
There's so much more. Like I'd rather say it in front of their face because like I feel like I could say more than just what I'm saying right now.
Got you. I think the best thing to say as well is I think there's going to be that moment. There's going to be a little girl sitting in the crowd and they're going to say, "You know what? I wanted to become a professional wrestler. You know why? I watched that Charlie Kruel match. I saw Charlie Kruel for the first time." That's going to happen. It's going to be a moment and just I want that for you.
Like, if I ever met AJ, I would be like, it was your match with Caitlyn at Payback that made me be like, I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's stuff like that. And I would love to have that one day. Definitely. I would love to have that. I had some girls come up to me, some little girls be like, "You're an inspiration to me." and it's because I beat up guys every Sunday, so that's probably like inspiring to them. But like they come up to me and just hearing the words like "you inspire me," and a mother came up to me once and like she said that her daughter told her, "Mommy, she inspires me," and like that to me just like makes me like kind of tear up a little bit because like I still look up to like women wrestlers. I still look up to guy wrestlers and people in the business and Jason and Shane and Medusa and AJ Lee and Jeff Hardy. You know, I look up to all of them, and then just thinking that like someone actually thinks of me as their idol and inspiration, it warms my heart completely. It's just something I can't really even explain. There's just no words for it. It's just that moment.
All I can say to that is just keep shining, Miss Kruel. Just keep shining.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I'm actually going to step back now because I'm going to give you the floor. This is where you promote that Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, upcoming events. The floor is yours. Go right ahead.
If you want to follow me, my Twitter is @CharlieKruel. My Instagram is @CharlieKruel, and my Facebook is also Charlie Kruel. So like that, follow those social medias. I have a Charlie Kruel Wrestling YouTube channel. My upcoming shows right now, like I said, tomorrow I have a Girl Fight show. And then next month I have Wrestling Theology Fellowship on July 20th. And then I have a Grindhouse show on July 21st. And I have on July 27th, I have Paradise Pro Wrestling. So those are 3 events I have huge that are next month. So those are my future shows that are going to be next month and tomorrow. So check those out.
Guys, check out Charlie Kruel. Charlie Kruel is amazing, amazing person. I got nothing but respect for you. I can't wait to do this again. And Charlie, any final words for your fans that are listening to this show?
Try not to make mistakes. I mean, let me scratch that. There's going to be mistakes. I've made mistakes so many times. I'm like, oh, why did I do that? But like, you can't take it back. If you mess up, you learn from it, and you look back at it, and you're like, okay, this is what I did wrong. I need to make it better. And that's what I'm still doing. You know, I'll look at matches. I'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I should have done that better, or oh, I need to do more of that. You know, and just stuff like that. Just please never give up, because if this is something you want, like, it's going to be so hard. Because nothing is easy in life. Wrestling is literally worth fighting for. It's something that like people just love to do. Like Bailey, like Sasha, you know. If this is what you want, then just go after it. You don't have to be a wrestler. Like, you don't want to be a wrestler, it's fine. Go after being something like a cook or an actor or a singer or something. Go after being whatever you want to be. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't, because they're full of crap.
Miss Kruel, that was beautifully said. I'm going to tell you right now, I really can't wait to have you back on in the future. I was really enjoying listening to you tell your story today. And again, once more, keep shining, and it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, that'll conclude another interview. My name is Mike Larkin. For the beautiful nightmare, Charlie Kruel, Cruel Reality. Check her out. Charlie Kruel, she's coming. She's the future. I'm out.